Hey guys, it's Stephanie.
I'm Trey.
This is your weekly dose of BS. And today, I sent Trey this the other day. I saw it on TikTok and it was these two girls and they were doing red flags, relationship red flags. And I was dying laughing at some of their red flags. And I was like, Trey, we should do this on the podcast.
And why did you say we should do this?
Because I know that back in your hoe days, you probably had a lot of red flag situations happen. So I feel like maybe not me, but I do have red flags. But I know that you're like a hot mess. I know you've dated some hot mess of
but I'm
people.
a ho no mo.
But yeah, now you're like a married man. But how fun. I feel like everyone has red flags. I want to hear yours.
How fun.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
we'll go take turns.
Okay. So like red flags from like people we've dated in the past, like things we should have seen as a red flag.
Yeah, and that you stayed. Red flags, but you stayed. You chose to stay. So red flags that you ignored.
Unemployed.
Okay, like the
chronically
man,
unemployed.
like the man had no job ever,
and no desire to have one.
That was actually like a running red flag with Trey. I'm gonna be honest. There was a time where I told him I was like, if there's a Save-A-Hoe out there, like that is like.
Almost started a nonprofit.
Yes, like he would always date these guys. I remember one guy you dated. Not gonna name names, but he did. He was a favor, right? Did favor.
Yep.
And he did not want to do it by himself. So Trey would have to like go drive around town doing favor.
He wouldn't work unless I was with him.
Yes. Trey had to literally work with him or he would not be a favor driver. He would not do his job.
Yeah, that was
probably my favorite one.
You know, I was telling someone the other day, I was like, it's really not fair. Who was this? I think I was telling my friend Jordan. I was like, I never had like a sugar daddy. You know?
No,
and that's just not fair. I somehow like became the sugar daddy.
Yeah, you were. You were always, yes.
It'd be nice for a man to take me on a plane every once in a while.
Yes.
Like a private one, not a commercial one.
We need this for you.
Boat.
Yes. Well, now you're married. So Zach, he wants a private plane.
I know, but now it's his is mine. And yeah.
Okay. So I once dated a guy. Okay. And looking, like when I was in it, I thought this guy was so cool. But now, like, he's such a turd. Okay, and we'd go to the club all the time because I was like in my 20s, right? And he would wear sunglasses to the club at night. Like all night long. Yes, every time.
Love this one because I hate when people do this. And you know what? My friend Jordan does this all the time. And I'm like, why do you do that? He's like, I don't want to be approached. I want to be unapproachable. And I was like, mission accomplished. I don't understand. I mean, as someone that owns a bar, when you walk in at 11:30 wearing sunglasses.
And it's dark in a bar.
What are you hiding from?
It's dark in a bar. But yes, this guy wore sunglasses. We would go out like every, Friday, Saturday. And he would wear like,
You're not Fergie. I'm waiting for someone to hit a wall.
He would wear his Ed Hardy shirts. Remember those back in the day? And like sunglasses. It was such a.
Was it a rhinestone Ed Hardy shirt?
Sometimes they were.
Oh, what a man.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Oh. So that was a big red flag that I ignored for quite a while.
Yeah, I would say wearing rhinestones is also a big red flag.
It's so bad.
Okay,
your turn.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm trying to think. You know the people I've dated. What would you say is a red flag you've seen? I'm trying to think of the ones you didn't like, which was most of them.
Well, one guy that you dated liked to start fights all the time.
Oh yeah, He ripped Stephanie's dress actually on accident.
Yes, that's a huge red flag. That is a huge red flag. Yes.
Never saw him after that.
I was like, Trey.
Yeah.
This guy is crazy.
Yeah.
Also, he would like cry in the back of your bar. Remember that?
Emotional.
Like he was super.
He was like emotionally manipulative. It was very weird.
It was very uncomfortable.
I didn't really date him, but that was a red flag. That was a good thing. I didn't do that.
Yes, but I think you did like talk to him a few times after that. Didn't you? At least after he was crying. Okay.
When he ripped your dress, I was like, "You're done, buddy."
That's very true. If somebody messes with me, he will break up with them.
Stephanie's like, "I'm not saying I hate them. I just don't ever want to see them ever again." And I was like, "That was my sign of like, you're done with him."
Okay, I once dated this guy, and I was trying to break up with him, right? Mm-hmm. Because he came. Okay, this is really crappy. He came to Dallas. I lived in Tulsa. And he came to Dallas as a boys' trip, right? Mm-hmm. And I also came to Dallas. This was for like OU Texas weekend, which everyone from Oklahoma comes to Texas, okay? And I also came to Dallas for like with my girlfriends, right? And we're all friends. Like obviously we're dating. I'm dating this guy. And all of my friends are his friends, right? Like they're friends with his guy friends. And he did not want me to hang out with him that whole weekend. He said, no, you can't see us, right? But then I find out that some girls that we're mutual friends with were hanging out with them at their table all night, the whole time they were in Dallas. So that's a big red flag. When somebody does not want to be around you, and I did stay with him afterwards, which is I should have broke up with him because it was such a crappy thing. But it felt like very rude. Like, I don't want to, you're my girlfriend. I don't want to be around you, but I'll hang out with all these random girls that, you know. Yes.
This was not my relationship, but this was a friend's relationship. If he prioritizes his friends over you, or will only hang out with you when he's with his friends, huge red flag.
Yes. Okay, and then I have a bunch. Trey, how do I have more than you?
I actually have a good one.
Okay, wait, no. This is you.
If he writes you a song to win you over, huge red flag.
Wait, you did this as somebody.
It was me.
You are the red flag.
Yeah, I was
Trey
red flagging that situation.
When you write somebody a song that does not really like you that way.
Another red flag is when that person gives that song to their podcast co-host and then they make you read it for the world to hear.
Yeah.
And then they have their 6-year-old son go and play that song, that episode for you. That's a red flag.
Yeah, well, for that. But I'm not a red flag of a person. I actually was helping you out. I was like, you know what? This man needs to know.
That did nothing for me.
This man needs to know.
That did nothing for me and everything for you and the rest of the world. That was, she told this story recently to this person. It was at her birthday. She told this story to the room all over again. This is like 3 or 4 years ago. And I was I had to leave the room again. I was like, I can't. I have like secondhand embarrassment for myself.
Someone came up and said, how do you know this guy's name's Connor? And I was like, Trey, can I tell the story?
Yeah, and there are a million ways that she could say that she knew Connor. She was like, this is Trey's husband, and this is Connor. And she's like, actually, I know Connor because Trey wrote a song about Connor. That is not how she knows Connor. She knows Connor from a million other things. But that was the moment that she somehow knew him.
Let me tell you about this song. Oh, my gosh. Well, it's my birthday. I can have fun if I want to. Okay.
She made me listen to the song in the car the other day, and I couldn't get through it.
Oh, my God. It was so funny.
It was in my car, and she wouldn't get out until we finished the song.
It was so funny. I even put it out on my story, and I told Trey, I think I had 750 people click on it to listen.
No, it was 40,000.
It was something crazy.
It was a lot.
It was a lot of people. Yes. I was like, oh, this is amazing.
I got a lot of messages about that.
Yes. Okay, so I once dated the same guy that I didn't break up with when he didn't want to hang out with me and his friends. And I tried to break up with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I tried to break up with him a few times. And then I tried to break up with him. And whenever I did, he won me over by saying that I was the only girl that he'd ever dated who he didn't cheat on. And I took it as a compliment.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
What a guy.
Right? Fair. Okay, your turn.
Interesting. Oh, gosh. I don't know how to top the song. That was pretty bad. What?
Mikey? So I found a couple.
Okay.
The first one, so here's a couple from Reddit, and then I have a personal one.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So did you ever see the episode of Ted Lasso when it was about love bombing? Have you heard of love bombing?
Yes,
No.
yes, I have. Yes.
That's a huge red flag,
Yes.
right?
What is
super.
that?
Yes, it's where you are overly I would say Teresa Giudice, people think her husband is a love bomber. They fill your head full of stuff. They build you up,
Okay,
but they're
yeah.
highly manipulative, and they will yes.
But it's also a lot of super expensive gifts or grand gestures way too early in a relationship.
Yes.
It's called love bombing. Also, when you
guilty of
when you
that.
start talking to somebody, if every one of their exes they say they were crazy, if they start saying all their exes are crazy, that's a big red flag.
Yes, but Trace, a lot of yours were crazy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest.
They were. I also feel like it's a red flag if they're friends with all their exes still.
Yeah, if they, I think friendly is not, but if they are always wanting to be with their exes and go do things and they don't want you there, yes.
Yeah.
Very big red flag. Okay, I have one more.
What?
I once dated this guy. I feel like I really have dated some red flags. I once dated this guy and he called me at work to give me the strangest compliment. And in my mind, I did not know how to receive it. I still don't. to say, I just want you to know that I know that I'm in love with you.
Okay.
Because last night I was at a strip club with all of my friends, and I did not care anything about the strippers. Like they did not make me turn my head at all. And I was like, oh, thank you.
I can see how he would think that's a compliment, but no.
Yes. And I stayed in that relationship for a little bit longer.
Was this all the same guy?
No.
These are multiple. Okay.
These are two guys.
How big is the pool in Coweta?
I mean, they weren't from Coweta, but yeah, so this is, I thought I would have tame stories compared to yours.
Yeah, no, I feel like you're a little.
Yes.
You got some worse ones.
Yes, I did. I once had this guy get really, really jealous. Okay, the same guy when living out with his friends got so jealous one time. He worked in the medical device field. So he worked like with spine surgeons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he would go into surgery with them. So he had a new job selling a new medical device. And his boss came in to town to Tulsa. And we went out to this like bar that we always went to. And he got shit-faced, like really, really, really drunk. And his boss, he had just met his boss for one of the first times.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty sober. So I was trying to not screw up this job for him and like be the normal one out of the two of us with his boss. And I was being nice to his boss, and his boss was talking to me, and he was just cross-eyed drunk. And he left me at the bar.
Oh.
And got jealous and thought his boss was trying to hit on me. And I had to walk home.
What?
And it was like it was like 2 a.m. because I didn't want to tell his boss he left me, because I should have, but I didn't want him to get fired or his boss to think he was a jerk or whatever, right? So I pretended like I was like, oh, he's outside, I'm going to go. I started walking home.
How far of a walk was it?
It was like, he lived about 4 miles from the bar, okay? Like, and I'm a girl, and like, a little scandalous, because it was my hoochie mama, my 21-year-old body days, my little outfit on. I started walking home in my high heels, right? I took my shoes off. I was just like Britney Spears in it, gonna be 4 miles. And this
Britney Spears.
yeah, you know how she used to always like take her shoes off and walk in the gas stations? That was totally me on my way home. And I was crying because I'm like, what has my life led me to? Like, this is horrible. So this minivan picks me up, and
red flag.
This minivan stops, and it's a family and like 2 children in the back. And it's like 2 a.m. So they had to be going somewhere. I don't know where. They stop, and they're like, the lady was like, ma'am, do you need a ride? And I'm like bawling. My mascara's all down. My shoes are off. I look like, just the saddest little thing. And I'm like crying. I'm like, my boyfriend left me at the bar, and I know I'm walking to his house. And anyway, and so they let me in their minivan, and they're like, well, tell us where he lives and how to get there. Because I lived with the guy at the time, right? Like, that's also why I say don't live with anybody that you date unless you're married, because it can go real bad and awkward. So they drove me. I'm crying, and they were probably like, this poor little hooker. So we approach his house, and they stop the minivan. And this is where I knew I had to break up with him. And this is actually where it ended. The lady and her husband and the whole family asked me if they could pray for me. So I'm in this minivan looking like a hooker. And my boyfriend left me to walk 4 miles because I was being nice to his boss. They held hands and made a little prayer circle around me and prayed for me. Oh. And then I walked in, and we broke up.
And then what'd you do?
Well, then my mom and dad came and got me because I was too drunk to go home. Yeah, oh. I did. I was called them crying. I was not good. Oh. So that's my last story. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have worse stories than me.
It was horrible. It's hard being a girl.
Yeah. Huh.
Yes. And I don't like to drive either.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a way. If somebody, it was the one time I was left at a bar. But yeah, my mom was so mad at him. So I knew I could never get back with him because my mom would kill him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's a good threat to have over yourself.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I have to stay this one, keep this one going. And then I started dating Travis. Okay, wait, I have so many stories. And then I started dating Travis, right? And we were in love. And then this guy, I swear to you, calls me one day. And Travis and I had been together for like a month, right? And I'm at Travis's house, like with him. And Travis found it very entertaining. This guy calls me drunk. He's in Vegas. This guy that like had me walk the 4 miles or whatever. And he says, I made a mistake. I'm in Vegas. I want to marry you. I will fly you to Vegas right now and I will marry you tonight. And I was like, I'm at my boyfriend's house. I'm dating this guy. And I was like, I'm dating Travis right now. So I'm at my boyfriend's house. Like, absolutely not. First of all, you were not good to me. And second of all, like, I'm with somebody. And he said, Travis can come and be in our wedding.
What?
Yes.
Well, that's very kind of him.
Travis thought it was so funny.
What'd you do?
I was like, no, thank you.
What an offer.
Yeah, it was very fun. So those are some of my past relationships. So if you're listening and you're in a relationship that sounds anything like any of the ones I just said, just get out
of it.
Get out.
Wow, mine were very tame compared to that.
Yes. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
So there you go. That's my love
stuff.
life. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
So I had one more dating.
Oh, yes.
I have one more dating red flag. When I was starting to date, my dad said, whatever you do, the first time you get into a girl's car, if it's dirty, that's a red flag. Leave her alone.
Oh, crap. Travis would have never married me.
Do you know why?
Why?
And I remember this to this day, and it's always been true. However a girl keeps her car is the way she keeps her vagina.
Oh, well, my vagina is clean, though. But my car.
But her car. Well, your car's been pretty clean.
It has. But you know what? Today I was driving here and my kids have been doing all their sports things. So they have like 2 of their like water bottles like clanking in the floorboard of the passenger seat. And it was driving me crazy. But yeah, I mean, yes, I told Travis, I was like, I've never taken better care of a car than I have this one.
Well, I would hope so. This one was like as much as your first house, more than your first house.
No, it was more than my first house, yeah.
I dropped Chance off at football last week, and he was eating a chocolate chip granola bar on the way, and I have these white leather seats, and he got out of the car, and I guess one of the chocolate chips fell between his legs when he was eating it, and I was like, Chance, you shit in my car! And he was like, what? And he was like confused and very concerned. And like, I think he was like a little convinced that maybe he did.
He was like, oh no, I did.
Like, did that fart not hold? But I was like, it's a chocolate chip. But the fact that he was so concerned that maybe he did was a little concerning. I was like,
He is a very special little boy.
Yep.
He's a very special little boy. Okay, so both my kids have girlfriends right now.
Okay. Speaking of red flags.
Wait, we cannot call out what's happening.
Well,
because I don't know who from their school listens.
Oh, well, I know Chance's friends listen.
Yes.
Because they give me a full report.
So Chance, I don't know if they're like, okay, so
I didn't know Chance had a girlfriend,
okay,
first of all.
So Cruz has a girlfriend, and it's moving kind of fast, but also like...
What do you mean kind of fast? You gotta just tell it.
There's like, I love you, ILY hearts going on, all kinds of stuff. I mean, they just play Roblox together, but they're in school. I think it's cute because it's like, it's very entertaining, okay? Mm-hmm. And Chance gives his brother relationship advice. Chance's advice is if a girl says... I would
love to hear it.
Chance said, Cruz, I'm good with girls. If a girl says, I love you, you got to say it back, regardless of how you feel. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I remember there was a girl in 4th grade, and she told me it was on a Friday, the Friday before Easter. No, that wouldn't have been the Friday before Easter because that would have been Good Friday. We'd been off. But there was a girl that told me that she liked me. And I was like, I'm going to get back to you.
I'm going to get back to you.
And my cousin came into town from Missouri, and I was like, I need your phone. I have to call this girl and tell her that I don't like her. So I got my little school directory out, and I found her number, and it was her home phone number, and I called her from my cousin's phone and said, I don't like you, and I hung up.
Oh, my gosh.
And then she called back, and I was like, turn your phone off. So she turned her phone off for the whole weekend. Well, then my uncle, who was not in town, called and was like, hey, there's someone that's calling our house phone. This guy's concerned because someone just said, I don't like you, and hung up the phone to his daughter and is wondering why some out-of-state number is saying this. They thought some man was coming to, like, kill her.
Oh,
but it was
my
really
gosh.
little gay Trey that did not want to be in a relationship with this girl.
Trey.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
So Chance, we were talking about Cruz's girlfriend, right? And then
We
Chance
have
was
Chance
kind
on
of.
to give relationship advice.
We
I would
should.
love
His
to hear
relationship
this.
advice is very sketchy. And then Chance is like kind of chiming in, and I'm like, Chance, you have no room to talk. You're not dating anybody. Like, you don't have a girlfriend, so like, you're just jealous your brother does, right? Chance is like, oh yes, I do. I have a girlfriend. I just don't tell you. So, anyways, this girl. So the same day I go home, and there's a letter. There's a little card sitting there because Ron always takes in the mail. He loves doing the mail. And it has a girl's name on it, and she's writing him from camp. So I know the girl's name. I know her first and last name. I can't find her on TikTok or on Instagram. I've already checked. I have not seen the letter. Chance like grabbed it as fast as he possibly could. I have no idea what it says. And I'm not at the place in my life where I want to be that snoopy mom that's like going around looking through his room for this letter.
I will.
You can do it. I just cannot. Yeah. But so both my boys.
Yeah, Chance thinks he's real cool, so I find it fun to like bring him down a few notches.
Yes, he needs to be brought down a few notches.
Yeah,
But-
interesting.
Yes,
I
but
want to figure out who his
Cruz.
girlfriend is. His friends will tell me.
Oh, yeah.
I'll find out.
I know
in
she
5
goes to a
minutes.
different school.
Oh,
She
so how do
goes-
they meet each other?
Through so a lot of the friends at Chance's school right now, they went to a different school at some point. So they like all these little schools hang out whenever you're in private school. It's very interesting.
Interesting.
You know what's so crazy is also, I guess there's one, I did not realize this, but our mutual friend, her son goes to school with my oldest. And she said that when kids get older, like the girls are very, very territorial. Like certain private schools date each other. This is so weird. And there's a girl that goes to Chance's school and she's dating a boy from a different school, private school. And I guess the girls at the like sister private school are like bullying her because she's not supposed to go after these certain guys. Like,
Interesting.
yes, very strange. Very, very strange.
Hmm.
Okay, what's the biggest age gap you've ever dated somebody?
Mine was never. I'm trying to think. No more than like 2 or 3 years.
Do you feel like you're usually the oldest or the youngest?
I guess the biggest age gap would have been 3 years. But like I was 24, he was 21.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Well, you're young, so you got married young, so you
I
wouldn't
got married
have,
at 27. Like, yeah.
So you wouldn't.
So I guess Hunter would have been the youngest.
Yeah. Okay.
Also,
mean-
could you imagine that relationship worked out?
No.
Me neither.
No. No. No.
It was like a COVID relationship. It was like we had nowhere else to go.
No. Well, I was thinking the other day about like how back in the day I had so much fun with you on the podcast. Remember when I brought that one guy, that lumberjack that you had a crush on? I brought
oh my
him
gosh.
I brought him in
That was
so you could tell
atrocious.
him that you liked him, and pretty much he just said thank you.
Stephanie convinced me, and this is naive little Trey was like, oh, this would be great. Stephanie was like, if there's this guy you like, you should bring him to the studio and we will tell him on air that you like him and we'll see what he says. And she was like, he can't say no. Well,
Yes.
guess what he said? He said no.
He said, I like you as a friend.
But we brought him in, and like then Stephanie's like, Trey, you have something to say? And I was like, I have feelings for you. And he was like, thank you so much. I think we're really good friends. And I was like, okay, right. And then we had to record another 20 minutes with him. That was awful.
It's so funny. I swear I could be like the matchmaker. I could literally do that for a living. Even if that didn't work out, I would have so much fun.
Sometimes I think about how bad of an idea this podcast is. I swear, I piss someone off weekly with this thing. Weekly. And you know what? All of you remind me to tell you a story a few months from now about this email I got about how I pissed someone off royally a few weeks ago. We both did, actually. Pissed this person off like you would not believe.
Yes.
And they tried to let us have it.
Yeah, and Trey wrote back, and I just stayed silent. I was
And
like,
I let them have it back. I was like, how dare you? Because what we said wasn't that bad. We said worse things.
no.
I remember there was a story I told a few years ago, and it was about a bachelorette trip that I went on. And I'll tell it all over again. I don't give a shit. There was this girl on this trip that was an influencer, and she was the maid of honor.
Okay.
And she made this entire trip like a brand trip for herself.
Oh my
like
gosh.
she and only she had hair and makeup every day. All the activities we did were like sponsored activities, but like we had to pay, but like she didn't. It was like a whole thing. And then I told the story about how shitty this trip was because of her. And then I saw her in the mall and she was like, I can't believe what you said. And I was like, I said you were a bitch on the trip. And I told everyone else that too. I'll say it again. Like, you were a bitch. And then she walked away.
That is rude, though. Like, I
on
get
my
it.
part or
Okay.
her part?
No, on
Oh,
her part.
yeah.
I get it. I get like having sponsored things or going to like a hotel for free and
Yeah.
knowing that
You have
a job,
responsibilities.
responsibilities and a job to do. But like, usually you bring people along with you and you're like, hey, like sharing
Yeah.
this with me. Like, we have to take a few pictures. But other than that, it's pretty easy, right?
But this girl, we stayed in an Airbnb and it was not free. And we all like realized that she didn't pay because she was like, well, the value that I'm bringing by getting us to these other free things, y'all should cover my stay.
That's crazy.
And it was like, no.
That's
It was-
crazy.
It was fun.
No.
I actually had a lot of fun making fun of her the whole trip.
Oh my gosh. But but again, like I think you have to bring people along and make it like
Yeah.
an exciting experience and not
Mhm.
like I'm doing all these things for free. And
But like even
you
with
have to
Zach
pay
and I's
me.
wedding, like we had like some opportunities like to do different things, but
Uh-huh.
like I didn't want to like make that my wedding, nor would I ever make that someone else's.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Yeah. That's like more of a weekend getaway. Like, hey, I
Yeah.
have this work getaway if you guys want to join me. That's weird because that's very, 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 very strange.
Speaking of, it would be really fun if like resorts would send us places, you know?
if you
If you own a
listen and
resort-
own a resort,
We're open to going somewhere.
we would love to travel and do this in the hotel room. Thank you.
Where would we like to go?
I feel like we should start in the U.S. So, like,
Oh, really? I don't like the US.
Florida. I like California. There's some places in California I'd like to visit.
Like where?
The places
Okay, great.
I don't know.
Awesome.
Let me see what.
We will stay at any Four Seasons property.
Yes, Annie. Yes. I'd like to go to Bora Bora, Bali. I've been to Hawaii.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I'll go anywhere.
You should come check out the Beachside Inn and Resort,
not
Inn
there.
and Grill with me.
Not there. I'll go anywhere but there. We said Four Seasons, not that. No. I will do that. We'll take pictures,
Yeah.
basking in the pool at your resort.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll talk good about it on the podcast. It'll
Yep.
be
So
great.
if you have a resort, let us know. We'll come. We're available.
Ooh, my Montana house now has like all the walls are painted.
Ah.
It's getting exciting. All the walls are painted. They are doing the ceiling. Did I show you our ceiling?
Yeah, it's a very intricate ceiling.
It's so we're doing like the hardwood floors, but on the ceiling in the main room. And our
She said, not only do I want these here, I want them there.
like they're hating their life.
Mirror this.
They're gonna have such horrible backs after this because they are on this like really small surface. I don't know how they're not falling off. Like just laying hardwood floors on the ceiling. It's got to be horrible. It looks real nice. I really appreciate it. If you work on my house and you listen to this podcast, thank you so much.
So much.
So yeah, the ceiling's being done right now. Walls are done. We are gonna be there in like, oh my gosh, like later on this week we're gonna be there. So I feel like do you know anything about home building? Do they do the floors first or the cabinets?
Cabinets are last.
Okay, so they should be working on our hardwoods, our hardwood floors when we get there. Because then they do cabinets and then they'll do I think they're doing the backsplashes right now too.
So you're probably 2 to 3 months away.
Yes.
That's exciting.
So very exciting.
Do you feel like after this house is finished, all your friends that you haven't talked to in years will come out of the woodwork and be like,
Yes.
hey, can I use your house?
I do. And here's the deal.
I do too. We should make a list and we should
Yes.
predict who will do this. And we'll read the list. I'm sure I'm going to piss everyone off with that too, but I don't
Yeah.
really give a shit
I'll
about
be
that
like,
either.
I have not heard from you in 10 years, but
Yep.
sure.
But, wow.
Take my-
no. Say no.
Take my house with all your
Absolutely
friends.
not.
You know what drives me crazy? Actually, I'm going to complain real quick. This is
Please
what
do.
drives me crazy in
I
life,
hope you say
okay?
what I think you're about to say.
When people ask to borrow your crap, like
Yep.
your house,
Yep.
of anything that you have.
Or what else? Let's give a
Any-
list of things. What else?
Like Travis and I
Like
have
a boat or a
boats, we
plane.
have a house, if we had
Or
a
a plane.
plane, any of that. If people ask to borrow your stuff, but don't ask if you want to join them. Like that drives me crazy.
Or ask like how you're doing. Or
Yes.
call regularly. Or like
Yes,
say
or
what's up.
anything,
Let's
like-
do lunch.
Yes.
Yep.
But like, yeah, so it's interesting. It's like, I feel like, I hope Travis doesn't do that to people when he asks, if he has to borrow
do
stuff.
you say yes whenever they ask?
Like, I think usually, I mean,
Why?
especially, because we have a lot of people that borrow our boat, but we don't use it that often. So I appreciate when people borrow it, I guess. But like,
Tell them to swim away out of your life.
but sometimes I'm like, like, You should
be a friend.
Like just see what we're doing.
Yep. I agree.
But yeah, I always thought that it's very interesting, like people who don't. But yeah, this house, I think it'll be interesting because people that, they'll like want to use your stuff. Do you have that with people ever? Like they're like, hey,
no,
can you get me in the?
Call me and
can you give me like this like bar? Like you own a bar, so you have people who are like, hey, I want to come in last minute. I
tell them no all the time.
You to roll up the red carpet for me, and I haven't talked to you in like months.
Yep, and I will gladly tell them no.
Yes. No,
I'm not gonna be like, no, you're not just gonna use me. No way.
Yeah. Well, yes. They're like, I feel like they're just.
So get ready to start telling people no.
Yeah, but I'll be like, no, you can't use that.
Yep. And if they ask, we're gonna start calling them out on the podcast.
Oh my gosh! Well, I mean, there are
Let's
some
get the
people.
business of pissing people off.
There are some people who I hope do ask, who are just like good people,
like
but then
who?
they're like, oh my gosh, your dad's like so nice. Like your dad, I would love for him to use it.
He actually has big plans to use the house too. Let me tell you. He fully intends on it.
Yeah. Like I have like some good friends who I would not.
He asks me almost weekly, and I'm like, there's not like a reservation list. He's trying to plan his trip. I'm like, I don't know.
He's like, we got to go. Okay, well, I will tell him.
He's ready for you to give him a date.
Depends on if he wants to ski or be there in the summer. Like, does he like?
Ski.
So he wants to ski. Okay, so I mean, that's like because honestly, any time that my kids are in school, I will never be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he can just go there for weeks.
Perfect.
For weeks.
He is
right now,
ready to book a flight.
Right now, we're in the process of trying to find a house manager for that house. I think it's a sweet deal for somebody, right? Because pretty
Absolutely
much
it
you
is.
you can even live there while we're not there.
Yeah.
But what we don't want to
have.
have, but then you have to go somewhere whenever we're in town. But what we don't want to happen is to have this house and then every time we go down there, something's broken. Because if you're not flushing toilets and running water and everything else, stuff will be broken. But
okay, so let me tell you this real quick. So I just got my real estate license, and one of the big things I'm really excited to do is just go tour houses. And there's this house in Dallas. It's 13,000 square feet. And so if you don't do what Stephanie's talking about, like have someone manage it, it'll literally fall apart. And so I sent her this house the other day. I actually found out it's bank owned. So it's this 13,000 square foot house. It's $3 million, which sounds like a lot, but the land alone is probably worth like 2.5. So this is nothing. Like,
but if you bought it, you would have to do a lot of work.
A lot of work to it. Because it's like someone hasn't lived there in probably 2 years. And
you can tell by looking. Yeah. I mean, you can tell like like homes need to be lived in.
Based on when it hit the market, you can kind of tell it hasn't been lived in about 2 years. But it literally looks like a giant wave hit just this house and like it flooded, but it didn't. Like you would think maybe there was like tornado damage, but no, like the roof is like rusting. It's weird, but it's just because no one lived there. And we're going to go tour it this week. We need to go see it.
Oh, I can't wait because Trey is now a licensed realtor.
Agent,
yes.
So I can just wander in.
So for all your real estate needs.
Call me. Yeah.
You would be a fun realtor.
I know I would. And I would tell you if the house was shit and be like, this is gross. We're not going in.
It's very true.
But this 3 months, I hope someone I know buys this house. And I tried to get it to be Stephanie, but she said no. But it's a great deal.
Well, because here's the deal, Trey.
It's huge.
Travis and I talked about this the other day. Like, I do not want to move until my kids are both graduated. And then I want to buy a really amazing, because let's be honest, Travis is the one that has to pay for it. We want to buy a really amazing condo.
Yep,
and
like
I want to live
penthouse.
in a high rise.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I want to live in a really amazing high rise and just not have to do anything you just like live in it. It's cool. You have great views. There's no yard.
Mm-hmm.
Our dogs may or may not be with us at that time, but whenever they are not with us, we're not getting new dogs.
Well, it's only like 5 years away.
Well, I know, but they'll be with us. They will unless something bad happens. But like, I'm not like, these are the last dogs I'm going to own. These are the last I may buy another bunny. These are the last turtles. These are the last animals.
Yep.
Like
going up in the sky.
We have to get ready for our retirement
for
plan.
retirement age.
Yes. Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that Chance is going off to college in 4 years?
I know, it's so stressful.
Is that not wild?
It's so stressful, yes.
Oh my goodness.
It is so stressful, yeah. He's going to go to college. I'm going to have to I don't know if I want to get buy a little house. Oh, maybe I'll use that if he goes to SMU. I'll use you for that.
Okay. Buy your little house on Mockingbird that you in, that little blue one.
I feel like I do think I would want to, if my kids go to college, especially in the same state, I think I want to buy like a small little cute house for them to live in.
Mm-hmm. And then mommy's got a room upstairs.
And then I have a room upstairs, yep.
I'm sure they'll love that.
Exactly what it is, yep.
If they think you're embarrassing now, just wait.
Yep, I can't wait.
Wait till like they bring a girl home.
That's what I'm waiting for. I told Chance, I was like, you have the coolest parents ever. You should bring girls home.
He does not realize how cool we are.
No, zero idea. Zero
But everyone
idea.
else does.
Yes.
All of his friends do.
And I told him, I said, if you don't want me to go on your date, Trey will take you.
Yeah, I would love
But
that.
I think you running around yelling outside the window
The
ruined
mermaid
that for
tail
you.
didn't help.
Yeah, the mermaid tail did not help.
Yeah.
Okay, so Trey and I have this thing that we are doing a new video on our once a
week.
week. We're going to put it out there in the world, right?
Yep. So if you have any good TikTok ideas, let us know.
Yes, if there's any
We're
videos
diving into our
you want us
TikTok era.
to do, we like the dumber the better, okay?
Yeah, that's our specialty.
Don't make us do anything that requires talent.
No.
Just, if you see anything dumb, send it our way.
You know what I think would be fun? This would be labor intensive. What if we got you like in disguise? Like in like a full like prosthetic thing, had Daniel work his magic and had you go in and apply for a job at Holman.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be interesting? I would love
Yes.
to see if Travis would actually hire you.
There's no way he would hire me. I have asked him for a job, and he said I would sooner die.
What did you want to do?
I just wanted money. I said, would you like...
For all this carpooling you do?
Yeah.
You should be paid.
But I want like a very
deserve a lot.
low-level position with a very high-level pay.
Yeah, amen. Amen to that.
I don't know what I mean, I feel like I'd be a really great receptionist.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be a really great...
You'd be good like HR.
Yeah, I could do HR. I could not be his assistant because I would tell him to do it himself. I don't know if I'd be good at sales. I'm a good people
think
person,
so.
but I don't like talking to people enough. Like I get annoyed with, like I don't like too much talking from people, so that would get annoying. But yeah,
Her social battery drains quick.
maybe HR. Maybe Travis did go to this event. It was for like workspace, and he did say he was going to take me next year because I guess there were a lot of old housewife people there
Sounds
that
like
watched
you
the
should be
show.
getting a paycheck.
So I was like, I will do this for a paycheck.
It's a work
Yes,
trip.
I will. That'll be part of my job. Yes.
Amen.
Yep. Okay. Well, Trey, I will see you when I get back from my checking on my house. I will let you
Go make
know
sure those
when to
floors
tell
on the
your.
ceiling.
I'll tell you when your dad will be able to come.
Perfect.
I feel like
He
he
is
could easily do like a January, February trip because I know it'll be done by then. I just have to know like exactly when.
You tell me when you're taking bookings, and I guarantee you he will be ready to go.
Yep. Okay. I'm thinking. Yep. He's gonna love it. He's gonna love it. But no, I'll let you know how it is. Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening and supporting. You can follow me at Steph Holman on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
You can follow me on Instagram at Trey_Stewart, and you can follow our podcast at BS the Podcast, or you can watch us on YouTube at Weekly Dose of BS.
Bye.
Bye.